Now there's already a theory stating that the Master will regenerate into Missy. But what if we see John Simm regenerate into Roger Delgado?
Are you insane?
How is that possible?
Now you might be wondering, what are you talking about, you deranged fool? But just hear me out. The Doctor and the Master have encountered each other on many different occasions. But what if they haven't been meeting each other in the right order? In The Sound of Drums we're shown a flashback to the first incarnation of the Master as his madness is created by the Time War version of Rassilon. We then don't know what happens to the Master until he dies whilst in his 10th incarnation. But why does the Master have to disappear until the Time War? Well, it's because of this scene.
Is this man a friend of the Doctor's?
Anything but.
Well, they're talking as if they were friends.
That's what worries me.
By not having the Master around while Susan was on Gallifrey would blend into the continuity that is already established. So the Time War begins with the 8th Doctor's involvement. Now I know what you're thinking.
I'm not part of the war. I swear to you, I never was.
But remember...
Rule 1. The Doctor lies.
At some point the 8th Doctor leaves the war, which forces the Time Lords to replace him with the 11th incarnation of the Master. At first, the Master fights alongside the Time Lords until...
I was there when the Dalek Emperor took control of the Cruciform. I saw it. I ran.
So the events of Utopia, The Sound of Drums, and The Last of the Time Lords happen, as well as the end of time. But we currently don't know what happens to the Master between the end of time and World Enough and Time. So I'm going to have to make up something now to fill the gap. When the Master sent Gallifrey back to the end of the Time War, he too was taken back and was finally cured of the endless drumming within his head. Unfortunately, due to his actions in the end of time, he is imprisoned by Rassilon. But when Rassilon was exiled by the Doctor in Hell Bent, the Master was released from prison. Once free, he manages to escape through a crack in reality. But he ends up being stranded on the Mondasian colony ship that is struggling against a nearby black hole. So where does Roger Delgado come into this? Well, Series 10 has been full of references throughout its broadcast, and I couldn't help notice that John Simm has a classic Master vibe going on. Using disguises, check. Dark clothes, check. Facial hair, check. It probably means nothing, but the Master could be fatally wounded in the Doctor Falls, which would cause a regeneration. Surely we'd believe this is the birth of Missy, but then, out of nowhere, Roger Delgado. I'm not saying it has to be a massive sequence, maybe just the start of the regeneration, then a split second showing Delgado's face, just like the regeneration shown in The Day of the Doctor. From then, we know what happens to the Master from his point of view. He returns to Earth in the 1970s to battle the Third Doctor.
But be careful. The Master has learnt a great deal since you last met him.
He manages to find a way to continue his life beyond regeneration, but is finally destroyed in 1999. But now you're probably thinking, where does Missy come into the story? Well, once the trapped version of Gallifrey learns of the Master's death, they resurrect him as Missy with a brand new regeneration cycle in an attempt to persuade the Doctor into letting Gallifrey back into the universe.
It's all quite simple, really.
So could a Simm Delgado regeneration sequence happen?
No.